All I Want for Christmas and Mariah Carey. That song was dedicated to my good friend Mo Gadwagan.
Oh, what a way to start.
I know. Smart A. I'm going to start with a Smart A comment. Are you ready for it?
Absolutely.
We sure like to make big splashy news about our little mountain town, and it's barely ever in the positive direction.
Yeah, you're right.
Seen you on the TV, Gary, and you were talking about the vid. Holy smokes.
It's always when the crap hits the fan that we make the news. I'm a little worn out. I'm a little tired of standing in front of TV cameras. We have one more today, dealing with things that we should already have a handle on. I'm embarrassed about this crap, to be quite honest. Revelstoke, we need to do better.
I talked to Doug, and I'm sure you did too, and he had mentioned that they kind of had sort of tracked down where the problems lay, and not all of it was guessed. He said a large number was, of course, but there were some locals that ended up getting it.
Yep.
I had a test on Monday. You knew about this.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people don't want to wear masks, don't believe that, they think it's a conspiracy theory and all the fun stuff that goes with that. I'll tell you this, that's fine, think that. But if your boss or anything like that, your employer says you got to have a negative result test back in order to go to work, you're going to offset your entire week. I did nothing all week. I sat there waiting for a test. And you know what it was? They said it was I ingested something. I ate something. I had mild food poisoning, but because you match two of the symptoms under the umbrella, I had to do a test. And to be fair to the childcare world that Jack and Carter are a part of and everyone else, so I did it. All because I had a stomachache. You're going to lay up your whole week.
And I've got text messages from business owners here in the community. You know, one business had 5 staff members off because one person twice removed from their group tested positive, and so everybody's off to the sidelines until they get the results back. End result, they're all negative, but in the meantime, everything has been impacted by this.
The business community is doing a good job. The new Revi Open for Business Facebook page is a smart way for businesses to be able to promote what they got for sale online and to do it safely, and people can comment or ask questions about the products they have and that type of thing. And I watch the news every night and I listen to Dr. Henry talk, and I kind of feel like it's the mom that just can't control the crazy kids that are climbing up the wall and come down, Jimmy, quit playing with the lighter fluid, and they're not listening. I just want her to snap. I think if she actually snapped, we might go, holy crow, mom just totally lost it. Like, that's when, we listen, exactly. Is when mom finally snaps.
And that's what I'm hearing from the locals now. It's like, you know what, Gary, you need to snap. Here's the thing that I received emails this morning dealing with some of the local businesses who apparently haven't been following protocol and not wearing masks, not doing the physical distancing, not doing the things, and they're not following their WorkSafe plan. So spoke with staff this morning. I'm indicating that we should have bylaw go and have an education system with them, which is like a warning. And then if things don't follow up, there's going to be some sort of thing. The police may come with fines from under the Health Act. And so we're going to see that sort of thing happening. But it's the same thing with the people out in the community. Everyone needs to be stopping the social gathering in the groups. I got another email last night saying, people are social gathering. They're all passing a toke around and this sort of thing is what's going to happen. And whether, people are infected and doing that or not, it's immaterial. It's basically, people, pay attention, stay home, stay in your family bubble. Let's make sure that we are able to carry on. And so the businesses that are open have a WorkSafe plan. RMR has a plan. It's been reviewed by Interior Health. Everybody's trying to follow protocol. We can't blame everything on the tourists coming in. We know that, I've been told anyway, 7 people from out of the community came in, and maybe that's how some of this is spread. But it's not total that. It's those who don't follow the rules or do the social gathering and don't care, and the median age is 33 years. So those sorts of things are being spread by people who feel that they're totally well, healthy. Nothing's going to happen to me until it does.
I was talking to a friend in the Lower Mainland, and he goes, how do you really reach? He goes, do you remember when we were about 24? And I think, it was around, I can't remember when SARS was a thing, and I know it's nowhere in comparison. Yep. I got to be selfishly honest and say I didn't pay attention. I was a bartender in my mid-20s. I had a few things on my mind, and I assure you SARS was not one of them, right? Yep. Like, it's hard. You're young and you're having fun. And now, again, I get SARS was nowhere near where we're at today. It's a totally different ballgame. It's hard to reach. That demo, not all, lots I'm sure doing their part. But But if you're out to have fun and partying, it's a tourist town. You're going to bring what comes with that. And there's good and there's bad.
Yep.
The bad right now is we're in a pandemic and there's visitors. We have non-essential travel ban, but really, how are we going to enforce that? Is somebody going to stand and put a barricade up on the sign? And it's not a bad idea. I hear Mo is retired. He's willing to stand there and ticket people. On the other side, Marco is retired. He could do it on the Golden Pass. So, but realistically, how are you going to really enforce that? And if people have purchased ski passes and unless they get a reimbursement, they're going to use them. That would be my guess. I would if I spent money on it. They can put in their systems in place to try to prevent it. Unless there's a shutdown, you might be screaming into the abyss.
Well, and that's really it. The locals are saying, you need to shut the community down, not allow anyone in. And that's not in
Do we even have that authority?
No, I don't have that authority.
Yeah.
And, so we have to look to the provincial government to say, hey, what are we going to do? It's our constitutional right to travel between provinces. Locals are upset that people are coming from other provinces. I get all that sort of thing. The fact of the matter is we need to look in the mirror and say, I need to do the best that I can do for myself. And in doing that, I'm protecting the community. People aren't doing that. They're going to hell with that. I'm going to do whatever it is I want. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to spread it. I'm safe. And the fact of the matter is we're seeing problems with that. I'm still waiting this morning for the results from Interior Health. I was hoping for an update before we got on air. I have nothing yet at this point. I'm hoping in my conversation with Interior Health earlier this week and with our MLA that the tests that have been done over the past few days seem to be negative. And so we look at that and say, maybe people are paying attention. The long shot is that we may still go up before we start to go down.
Well, it's generally the case, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so you look at that and go, come on, at what point do people actually get a grip on this and say, hey, I'm going to do whatever? So if you see your neighbor out and they're not following the rules, maybe you can gently remind them of the rules, but you need to keep safe yourself. And that doesn't mean that I'm saying to people, hey, go out and clobber your neighbor with a stick because they're not doing the right thing.
The shame game.
That doesn't work. I mean, we need to look at that and go, okay. So, people are frustrated with me because I haven't said, hey, you need to go out there and find everybody in the community. Well, we don't always have that ability. So we try to do the education. If we have the ability and people are not doing it and we're starting to do things under the Health Act, then we need to do that under the Health Act and start putting the hammer down on some of these people.
I mean, our numbers were at 47 last I recall, I think, somewhere in the
vicinity. I think the last I'd heard was 48 and 32 active.
Okay, so it could plateau or it could creep. And I guess it depends on how we do in the next 3 weeks, especially around Christmas time.
Well, that's exactly it, and some of you have seen the post or heard the post or from Premier Pellister in Manitoba being like, hey, I'm the guy that's taking Christmas away, and they're under a total lockdown.
He was pretty balls to the wall yesterday in the news. Yeah.
And I feel for him. I can get that. I'm worn out. I'm tired of telling people to get their act together. This should be common sense, but it's not common sense. So here we are. We're doing a radio show. I've done all these interviews with CTV, Global News. Yeah. I'm embarrassed that our community's making the news under these things. But until people actually start to pay attention, we're going to see this crap continuing to happen.
I guess all you can do is keep pleading and hope. But at the end of the day, I think so many people are doing their part. And the ones that are listening and going, I am. And they are, right? It's
and I'm so appreciative of those who are doing their thing. But there's a few out there who are not doing their thing, and they're going to actually cause someone else to be sick. And then what do? And we continue down that slippery slope until somebody dies. And then is somebody going to actually pay attention then? Well, if it wasn't in their bubble, they sure as hell won't. So the point I'm trying to make is we need to get real about this, and we need to do it yesterday.
Is there anything coming out of City Hall that's important for anybody to know? As a reminder, your business license are due.
Yes.
Renewals are due.
Yep. And so we're just looking at hours. We know that we're probably going to be closed from the 24th on. I am looking at possibly most of that week as well to give staff a break. So I just want people to be aware of that. Spoke with the Chamber this past week regarding Christmas and activities in the community. So there's lots of local things. I wanted to make sure things were on track for kids to make sure there was events for them and for adults as well. So we know that there's local businesses that are putting things in place, gingerbread contests and cookie contests and those sorts of things are coming to fruition. The literacy group getting Christmas books out to kids at Babyview. So those are all positives. And then I also want to talk about Revelstoke Idea Factory. They've come out with these red and green lights for businesses, whether you can enter, whether you can't, those sorts of things. And that sort of stuff's being made here in the community. It's an awesome thing. So for the Fab Lab and that group, kudos to them. It's local. So if you need that for your business, give some serious thought to that. In my business, we have a sign on the door. It's by appointment only, and of course, totally different than a retail business. But there's ways of getting around.
I don't want an appointment with you, Gary.
And I don't want to have you as a client. So let's move forward, and everybody keep safe and enjoy themselves. I'll have some information coming out dealing as we get a little closer to the by-election, dealing with what we're looking for as far as people running, that sort of thing. So we'll probably talk about that a little bit next week.
Yeah, Councillor Sriracha.
There we go.
As a quick note, with your business license, they want you to pay online, and when you do, you have to use. It says select City of Revelstoke of pay for your pay under a payee.
Yep.
And there's two options that come up. One says taxes, one says utilities. It's the taxes one, not utilities. So I had to call in. Cindy let me know that. So just if you're paying it, pick the taxes one, and then you'll get your
awesome.
renewal.
Thanks for that.
Thanks, Gary.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Gary.